Hello and welcome to Eastwick's Paper and Ink. My name is Katie and today we're going to be making some holiday gift tags. Let's get started. So the supplies I'm using is the Hero Arts Snowy Scene Stamp, the Hero Arts Tide Pool to Navy Ombre ink pad, the VersaFine Claire Twilight ink pad, an 8.5 by 11 heavyweight white cardstock, a hole punch, a ribbon, and a couple of sentiment stamps from Simon Says Stamp, and you'll need a couple of small blocks. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our cardstock. So we're going to cut it in half at 4 1/4, and then we're going to take those pieces and we're going to trim those down to 2 3/4 inches. That's going to give us 8 evenly spaced gift tags. And you want to just do this in assembly line order when you're making a bunch of things. So we've got our 8 tags, and then we're going to move on to our stamping. So I'm going to take one of my card tags and I'm going to ink up my stamp with the Tide Pool to Navy ink pad. And I preferred in my testing the dark to light versus the light to dark. So I started with the very darkest pad, which is the navy, and I stamped that up at the top of my stamp for the top of the night sky, and I brought that about midway down the stamp. This allowed me to get a nice deep dark sky through the middle of my scene, and then it lightens up. Now I do shimmy the ink pad up and down the stamp to get a nice blend. So you want to make sure that if you see any lines after you've applied the ink, that you want to do a little bit more shimmying up and down to get those to blend. Then you're going to take your cardstock and you're going to place it on your stamp and use a scratch piece of paper to apply that ink to your cardstock. You want to give that a few seconds of application so that you get as much ink transferred onto your tag. Now, you could leave that like that with it just the stamp scene. You could put your to and your from, but we're going to step this up just a little bit and add a few sentiments and a couple additional snowflakes for the background pattern. And you saw there that I needed to add a little bit more ink because I had some lines, but once that was applied, it blends perfectly. So now that we've got our tags all set up, we're going to go ahead and select our sentiment, which I'm going to be using from Mama Elephant, and it's called the Confetti Stamp Set, and I'm going to use the warning contents may cause instant joy. I am using my stamp platform. You can use any stamp positioning tool if you choose, but you do not have to. I'm using my Twilight VersaFine Claire ink for my sentiment. I just thought that that was the perfect deep blue, and I went ahead and stamped all my tags with that. Now I'm going to be adding a snowflake from Simon Says Stamp, the Peaceful Christmas. I'll flip it over here in a second. Yeah, Peaceful Christmas. Just one little small snowflake. Use whatever you have. It does not. Nothing has to be from these stamp sets that I'm using. In fact, any of your background scene stamps that you have, you can use those for a holiday tag. In fact, I have a couple more in mind that I'm going to be coming up with in the next couple of weeks. But so I just wanted to fill in with the snowflakes. In fact, again, you don't need that big sentiment there. You could do your to and your from and some snowflakes, and you're good to go with these tags. It's just that easy. And the stamp set I'm using for my to and from is the Christmas Wishes from Simon Says Stamp. I just really like that font for the to and the from, so that's why I chose it. Again, use whatever to and from you have, or you can handwrite them. And I just trimmed up some banners that will fit the to and the from, and I went through and stamped those all with the Twilight VersaFine Claire ink. And once I got through all those, I did punch out my hole first so that I would have a proper placement for that to and from. And for this, I just used my eighth of an inch hole punch. you could probably get away with a 1/4 inch also. And then once we get done stamping all our to's and our froms, we're going to move on to punching holes into our tag to actually make the tag. Now, this I'm using the 1/8 of an inch hole punch. I had some foam mounted ones that I had trimmed and for some mess ups that I had. So I didn't have a hole punch that would fit that except for my 1/8 of an inch. So just keep that in mind. Mine, I had to use a smaller one. So it took a little bit more time for me to feed my ribbon through. And did you have to use my poker tool to get the ribbon to feed through each of the holes. But once I did, I absolutely love the way these tags turned out. They're so visually appealing, and they'll certainly stand out on any package that you put them on. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and ring that bell to be notified of my next video. I plan to do some more tags to get a bunch done before Christmas. And the next ones I'm going to be using is the glimmer foil system to make some tags. And I have a couple of background stamps that I'm going to be using. So if you've not subscribed, please do. Ring that bell to be notified so the next time I upload a video, you'll be the first to know. Don't forget to share and like so that I know that you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of them. And I just fed the ribbons through the hole. Again, my holes were a little tight, so that mine took a little bit longer to do. I kept this in real time. But you don't have to have a hole as small as mine. A 1/4 inch would be perfect for this. And I'm just going to trim that ribbon up. And that's going to wrap it up for our tag today. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I do hope you enjoyed this tag video. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified of my future videos. Up next will be another tag card using the hot glimmer foil system, so I do hope you stay tuned. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope you have a fantastic day.